Hola everybody! Pacha here with the weekly Pele Report for June 12th. Frying my butt out here. Oh, por Dios, it is hot. Whoa! And the moon just left Leo, going into Virgo. So she's going to stay there until Friday. Oppose Saturn, oppose Neptune, do all that happy stuff, goes into, Libra, and then, trines Uranus, trines Pluto, trines Jupiter, over there in Libra. That's going to be really sweet. And, there's very interesting, no aspects happening on Saturday. Bum, 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 bum. Could be a little bit of a day of disconnect. Let's see what happens. Of course, there are always aspects because we are in the matrix and everything is connected to everything else, but there are major aspects and minor aspects, right? So there's no major aspects happening on Saturday, but then by Sunday, after she opposes Chiron, she trines the Sun, Mercury, which are still traveling pretty darn close together before she goes into Scorpio. And once she's in Scorpio, she's going to trine Pluto. Well, she trines Pluto just before. No, yeah. Squares Pluto. Yeah. Opposes Mars over there in Taurus. But the big thing that I want to talk to you about today is, and you could have seen it on the chart, okay, when you first started the video, Venus conjunct Mercury at the very first degree of Cancer. Ay, ay, ay. And of course, that is on Sunday. Venus squares Neptune in late Pisces before she goes into Cancer. And then Mercury squares Neptune, okay, on Monday, just before he goes into Cancer. And then later on in Monday, they're both in Cancer at 0 degrees. Oh, what is it? Some minutes. The first degree of Cancer. Let me get in the shade over here because it is freaking hot. And what else is happening? Of course, we have the Sun square Moon, the first quarter square at the 24th degree of Virgo. The moon is moving through Virgo, squaring that Sun, still in Gemini. We had that new moon in Gemini, mutable. Going to be talking a little bit more about that. And last but not least, today, Mercury squares Saturn. Reflection, depression, not lots of fun, but it does move on. Thank God the Sun is sextile Chiron today, and tomorrow Mercury sextiles Chiron. So it may not be fun, it may be heavy, it may be, some tough communications and stuff going on, but in the long run, it is healing. So I'm going down here, and there's supposed to be Codfish Falls, but I have been hiking on this trail for a long time and I'm not finding any falls, but I will go a little farther and look at the camera and talk to you. All right. Woo! Made it! Can you see way back up there? Yeah. They come down, they go behind my head, and they come down here, and then they keep going. At the end of the, video, I put in a 1 minute shot of the whole, well, not the whole thing, because it goes farther than I thought. It's just very beautiful. The fairies and gnomes and all the nature spirits love this kind of stuff. So yeah, maybe they'll help me out with this report. What's going on? So yes, we had that Sun-Venus conjunction starting a whole new 584-day synodic cycle. I mean, that's, almost a couple years. It's a long cycle. And that's only part of the 5-pointed star that Venus makes over a long period of time. Everything with 5. I was going to bring an apple. If you slice an apple, you've got your Venus. Apples are Venus. Mercury is 3. Mercury goes in 3s. If you follow its retrograde, it's 3 times a year. And it goes around and around and around. So you have a lot of, 3-petaled flowers and 5-petaled flowers and 6-petaled flowers. And those are Venus flowers and Mercury flowers. Did you know that? Anyways, yeah, I think I'm going to just start out with this one Sabian symbol that has to do with the square, because last week I talked about, the Sun and Venus both square Saturn, okay, and Mars square Pluto, bringing in some squares. And now we have Mercury and Venus moving into Cancer, which is exactly square to the beginning. In the natural zodiac, 0 degrees of Aries is the beginning. And so you have 30 degrees in the sign, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, 30, 60, 90. So Cancer is square to Aries. And they're both cardinal signs. They both are about initiating, but Aries is initiating with fire. Cancer is initiating with water. We're going to talk a lot about that, but right now, let me just pull out that Sabian symbol and give you a shot of what the square is about. It's pretty long. On a ship, the sailors lower an old flag and raise a new one. It's a radical change of allegiance, exteriorized in a symbolical act. A point of no return. We have now reached a square, 90-degree angle to the beginning of the cyclic process. This is a moment of crisis, a sharp turning point. In the zodiacal cycle, at the summer solstice, the northward motion of the sun, in declination, stops. The sun rises and sets as far north of exact east and west as it can during the year's cycle. Its motion is now reversed. Slowly the sunset points move southward on the western horizon, and the length of the day decreases. This is all in the northern hemisphere, you guys. So it's a little different in the southern hemisphere for you Aussies and Africans and Balinese, whatever, yeah. But anyway, the Greeks lived in the north, so a lot of this astrology is based with the northern latitudes. In the lunation cycle, from new moon to new moon, this is the first quarter phase. And we're having a first quarter phase moon also in a couple days. And so, on the ship, remember the picture now, the ship, which symbolizes the ego consciousness floating, as it were, on the sea of the vast unconscious, the individualized will makes a basic decision. The dominant yang force allows the yin force to begin its 6-month-long rise to power. The collective will gradually overcome the individual. And at the end, the state will overpower the person. Now, however, the individual person enjoys their most glorious hour. We exult in our ability to make a free decision, to act as an individual who selects our life goal and our allegiance. In a decisive act heavy with consequences, the symbolic college youth might realize that he should bring to an end his quest for the ideal companion and enter into matrimony. He assents to the possibility of progeny, of home responsibility. His consciousness accepts a process of fundamental reorientation, implying the stabilization of his energies. Okay, so this is Mercury and Venus coming out of Gemini. The wanderer, the gypsy, the curious one, the student, the youth comes into, and like that closure, the college student, Gemini, decides to make a home and have a family. So we're coming into this time period now of Cancer, of the home. And home is where the heart is. And it's where our feelings lie. In some ways, we're coming out of Mercury Gemini into this moon, Cancer, the belly. Yeah, coming down into the belly and really into our feelings. And it's not only the home and our children, but it is our own past and our own inner child. And the sun is going to be coming in there, next week. I'll be talking about the sun is going to go into Cancer. And we will actually have the solstice. Winter solstice in the southern hemisphere. Summer solstice in the northern hemisphere. But a turning point nonetheless. And this turning point, like he said, it's a reorientation. And we have to really look at where is our allegiance. Yes, what is important. And I want to really come into this. It's very beautiful having Jupiter in Gemini for really till next May. It's almost a year now. We're going to have this Jupiter in Gemini energy. And it's perfect, okay, for compassionate communication. It's perfect for you to change around your daily schedule, your daily reality. This is the third house in Gemini. The plans that you make. This is a good time for taking courses, for taking classes, for learning something new, for, going, traveling, stepping outside, okay, of, your ordinary daily reality and expanding your consciousness through a variety of different acts. And, maybe reading some new books, getting some new teachings, some, wider, broader understanding. And part of this understanding that I want to really bring in is that we are now in a changing of the ages. And this Venus star point is a time of changing our relationship to our hearts. And time of changing our relationship to love. And to being in love. And so I really feel that this is a very powerful time of coming from our head to our hearts. I even have this exercise of heart breathing that I could bring. But you can just close your eyes and inhale into your heart. And hold that energy there in the heart space. Feeling the heart. Acknowledging, owning, listening to your heartbeat. And then exhaling, opening, giving from the heart, of the heart. This is like bringing the fifth dimension into the third dimension. Yeah, bringing the spirit, prana, breath, through our bodies, boom, into this time, space, Saturn, Chronos reality. And this is the changing of the ages. This is what we talk about as the end of patriarchy. If we look at our cultural conditioning for the last few thousand years, it's all about thoughts. Who's the smartest? Okay, who can plan and execute and, achieve and, talk the greatest line, and, it's all about what are you thinking? What do you think you need? What do you think you want? Who do you think you are? But the focus is even our language is all about thoughts and thinking. To the exclusion, this is very yang, very masculine, very patriarchal, like I said, right? And what is it, moving towards? Now we have the opportunity, at this changing of these ages, to move out of our thoughts and our thinking, which the head separates. The ego lives in separation. And separation brings distance, disconnection, and judgment. And when it gets into the head then, it gets into Saturn, Mercury, which is square today. Right, wrong, good, bad, black, white, win, lose. No gray area. Either or, this or that. And we get lost in this judgment. And I really like Marshall Rosenberg's quote. He says, a judgment is the tragic expression of an unmet need. When we judge other people, we lose. We're cut off. Okay, if you are in love, and if you are holding, and we hold each other in love, and compassion, and empathy, and sympathy, and we try to understand where each one of us is coming from, that we're all just human, we all have needs, we're all trying to fill them in our own strategies, in our own ways, and we may have bad strategy, we may have bad ways, yeah, people may get hurt. But when we come into this heart space, we step out of judgment. We step out of I'm right and you're wrong. This is what the mantra is about today. Stepping out of this place of righteousness. That is Sagittarius. Natural law. Okay, that is objective. We're down here now. We've got a bunch of energy here in Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer. These are the most instinctive, personal, subjective signs. We're moving into Cancer and Leo. These guys are just like all about, me. That hurts, or that feels good, or that's fun, or that's, nasty. So, we're in this, very subjective place. And for Gemini, especially, mutable airs change. And my allegiance changes. As I evolve and grow, my needs change. My beliefs change. My stress factors change. Even my past changes. Because I, review and remember different aspects of my history, of my biography, according to my filters, according to my beliefs, according to my values. So we've gone through this Taurus now. Uranus is still in Taurus. Mars is in Taurus now. And this is establishing new values and new allegiances. So I want to encourage you, this week, really review and look at, okay, what are your goals? What are your aims? What is your truth? What do you believe in? And are you walking that truth? Are you walking your beliefs? Are you coming from, in your daily reality of Gemini, okay, are you living, walking, breathing, talking, your ideals? This is the square to Neptune. Neptune is the ideal. So we're at the 90 degree. When was it? Mercury's squared. That's it. Mercury conjuncted Neptune, March 8th. Right near the eclipse. So this is Mercury Neptune. Download from infinite love, from source, from Neptune, from spirit, into my left brain. A new idea, a new song, a new understanding of what love is, of what unity, how to make unity. Venus was conjunct Neptune April 4th. Yeah? So, now they are 90 degrees away. Breaking out, separating. Time to really manifest those beliefs into action. The 90 degree square is about acting on the seed impulse that was planted or begun back then. Look at, man, I am soaking wet, dripping. I started out in the shade, but now I'm in the freaking sun. I'm going to have to act and get my butt out of here. But let me read this. This is so beautiful. So that was the Mercury Sun conjunction. I want to read to you this first quarter square. The moon, 90 degrees away from the sun. Because it is so perfect for this whole energy of Cancer. Mary and her little lamb. The need to keep a vibrant and pure simplicity at the core of one's being as one meets the many tests of existence. This symbol, yes, really just says that resolute efforts are needed in order to achieve one's higher goals of destiny, but still the essential quality as one journeys on the path is a pure, spontaneous, fresh, and non-violent approach to all encounters. This, of course, is Jesus' treaty to his disciples, that they should be like little children. Without such a deep, heartfelt simplicity, the seeker after spiritual experiences or initiation is bound to find themselves glamorized by their own successes and to see their ego feeding on the drama of struggle and victory. Beyond individual prowess and social eminence, the individual whose innocence is fixed upon spiritual realization should genuinely radiate innocence. So beautiful. Mary and her little lamb, whose fleece was white as snow. And everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. There is this inner child. Cancer is our inner child. And even as I talked about, this Chiron in Aries, healing the wounded masculine. Well, let's heal the wounded boy. Gemini is brothers and sisters. It's the children. Yeah? It's the kids. So we have the inner girl, the daughter, our little girl, our little boy. Not only our inner masculine and feminine, but then we've also got this inner children within us. These twins, these Gemini twins. And they're calling to us now. And they don't care what we think. They want joy, they want play, they want fun, they want peace, they want happiness. I mean, if you've been a parent, if you've raised kids, if you know kids, you know, they need fun. They need to recreate. Recreation. So this is a really great week to tap into, you know, your inner child and have a conversation. You know, we're each responsible for taking care of that inner child and for breaking out of these judgments and this right way and, you know, the blame and the, you know, drama and even the successes, you know, getting all full of ourselves because we won or we were right or, you know, the argument went in our favor or whatever. I mean, you know, this is just coming home. Coming home. It's time to come home. And it starts within. And I know. I meet a lot of people. I just travel. I just did great ceremony with Joy Love. Yeah, up at the Sacred Pools up in Ashland. And we did the divine feminine and the divine masculine, bringing them together. This can happen. This is happening. Do not be deceived by the news or by the World Report or by the economics and the this and the that and everything, the wars and battles. You know what? There is a huge organic ground swell of people, of human beings, one by one, heart by heart, life by life, that are waking up, that are tired of this patriarchal bullshit, that are tired of these wars, that are tired of these authorities laying out all these mandates and new laws and new rules and just a bunch of bullshit. Yeah? I tell you, it's happening. And it will continue to grow. It will continue to happen. And it comes through each one of us tuning out so that we can tune in. And as each one of us heals ourselves, we heal the world. I don't need to change the world as much as open my heart. And letting go of my need to be right is a very good place to start. Just what I was saying. Come on, everybody. Let's get over our battles internally. And if we're having battles externally, it's a reflection of our internal reality. You know, if you're betrayed, it's because you've betrayed yourself. If somebody's lying to you, it's because you're lying to yourself. If somebody's disrespecting you, it's because you're disrespecting yourself. If people are adoring you, it's because you're adoring yourself. This is all a house of mirrors. So we don't, you know, to go out there and, you know, hit the streets. I mean, you know, it can be on the path for some people. They have some learning to do, okay, in different realms. But, you know, what I'm talking to now is the spiritual stage. And in the spiritual stage of evolution, yeah, you know, 1% of the population or so, you know, 5%. We've got, you know, we have this. It's not about what's out there. It's about what is in here. Feel it. Breathe. in and out of the heart. Fill your world, your Cancer house, your immediate environment, your immediate family with love. And it goes out to the neighborhood. And from the neighborhood, it goes out to your friends on Facebook or international, wherever they are. And from your friends, I mean, it all spreads naturally. Ow! Yeah, baby! And the song for this week is Our House is a very, very, very fine house with 2 cats in the yard. Life used to be so hard. Now everything is easy because of you. And you, and you, and you, and you. Let's make it easy for each other. Let's take it easy on ourselves. One more time. I don't need to change the world as much as open my heart and letting go of my need to be right is a very good place to start. It's not about right and wrong. It's about freedom of choice and allowing, sympathizing, caring, wanting everyone to live in freedom. Namaste, aloha, so much love.